why every CEO should write a book. You know, let me break this down for you. I have a few points to discuss, 4 or 5 points that I have made. And it's all about, CEOs. Like if you're a CEO, you will agree that your personal branding is as important as your professional branding, right? Because you're running this organization, this brand or this startup as a CEO of that organization. At the same time, you are in that leadership role that people look up to for advice, for role modeling, and for your vision and how you lead your followers, isn't it? So the reason why it's so important to write your book as a CEO is because of these three things I want to share with you. Number one, it builds credibility. Your own book as a CEO, it builds a lot of trust and credibility with your teams, maybe also with your audience, maybe also with your clients and customers, because now they know they are dealing with a person who has got credibility and the courage to write and publish a book. And your book need not be about your personal story. It could be about what you believe in and what your thought process is and your insights and your perspective. There are different ways and angles to do that. And the second biggest reason why it matters the most is the authority. I mean, when you author a book, you become an authority on that topic, don't you? So let's say you are in the business, let's say in the IT business or healthcare industry or whichever industry, that niche that you are in. When you write a book about the topic, about your insights, you become the authority not just in your own organization but in the entire industry. I mean, you don't have to talk like an expert. You can talk like, for example, the best practices and how do you lead, how do you manage, how do you work in this industry, what other leaders could do, what other excuse me, what other managers could do. So like that you can create that uh, aura around you and the authority that comes from the being an author. And the third biggest reason why it is most important to write a book as a CEO is differentiation. I mean, you need to differentiate yourself from all other CEOs in maybe in the same industry or in a different industry. There are other companies, there are other CEOs, there are other leaders out there who might be in the same industry or in different industries. So when you write and publish a book on your topic, then that will definitely differentiate you. That's a value differentiation. I mean, all others might also be having the same title that you have. Maybe they are having the same business card that you may have. Maybe having those all those other assets like your brochure, website, everything. But do they have this important differentiation that you are an internationally published author? I mean, that will create a lot of differentiation, which leads to a lot of respect and authority and credibility and all these things, right? So that's why, you know, one of our authors, I would like to share the story of Srini Rajam, one of our authors, for example. He used to be the CEO of Texas Instruments, and then he started his own company called Lithium Systems. And he wrote a book with us. And when we were interacting with this leader in his organization, he was no small leader. I mean, he had already built his expertise, his experience, and his insights were so valuable. I mean, that could inspire a lot of people. And he wrote a book, and then his credibility went up, his influence definitely expanded, and that also built a lot of trust with his peers and students and followers and customers, perhaps, because now they know they are working with a CEO who has written a book. All right. And book is also about building a legacy, And I want you as a CEO to be more influential in your approach. I mean, how can you become more influential? How can you exert more positive influence on your audience? Writing a book is one big way to do that. Let's explore other benefits. The number one benefit could be that creation of credibility we already discussed. The second big benefit is the exposure one can get by writing a book. I mean, you can't go wherever the book goes. I mean, in other way, in other words, a book can go to a lot of different places where you can't personally go. Your book becomes available in bookstores, online, offline, international, different geographies, and people searching for your topic. Your book will pop up. That's how the exposure expands um, globally and exponentially as well. And the another big benefit definitely is the trust factor. I mean, people would love to work with other people, especially leaders they know, like, and trust. And then how are you going to build that trust factor without you personally going there or you personally interacting? A book is a great way to do that because it builds trust, and books are valued and respected, and authors are respected. That's why your book will give you all the trust that you need in your business and your life as well. And I've also seen many leaders or CEOs use their own book as a lead generation mechanism, lead generation strategy. Why not? Because when you talk about your book, see, compare this to giving out your brochures. People know that a brochure is a sales document or a marketing document, and they may or may not give attention to the brochure. But when you give them your book, most people, I see, I mean, almost all people will never throw away a book because books are still valued, respected, and this uh, aspect of lead generation using a book is a trusted and proven way to use a book as a strategy. I mean, it can create a lot of know, like, and trust factors with your prospects. Even before they become your prospects, they become your leads. They come to you. I mean, we have written books and worked with authors who have used books as a lead generation successfully and reduced their advertising cost dramatically, sometimes stopping their advertising altogether because they are getting qualified leads through their books, which are used as a lead generation strategy. And networking, how many times have you gone to these networking events and people exchange business cards usually, and nowadays they also exchange online digital editions of their business cards. But what if you could give your book to, let's say, your prospective client, high value client, or a partner, or a dealer, or another big stakeholder? That way you will, and new business out of using a book as a strategy, another definitely a good strategy to write a book for. See, what I'm saying is, your book need not be about your biography or your diary. You can use your book that you author for different benefits, like lead generation or networking or new business opportunities, establishing as yourself as a thought leader. There are different ways to do that. Now, how do you go about, what are the major steps, the needle movers, I would say, in writing your, I mean, you can do it. Actually, anyone can write a book, of course. Don't let anyone cut the wings of your dream of becoming an author of a good book, by saying or convincing you that it is difficult, takes a lot of time, you need to do it after retirement. All these things are myth myths around publishing your book. Because the major steps, if you want to conceive and become an author, first thing would be to define your message. What is your message to the world? Who are these people that you want to reach out to, your audience, and what keeps them awake at 3 a.m. in the morning? That's your message. All these ideas will lead you to form an outline, or define your message to this group of people. And always remember, reach out to one group of people at a time, with one book, one message, one group of people. Cool? Though, I mean, the biggest mistake that most first time authors do is try to cram everything they know into one book. I mean, and usually turn it into some kind of a personal journey, personal story. May work, may not work, but what I am telling you is strategic. All right. So now what else? Then outline all these ideas about this group of people that you already identified, with the message that you want to give. It could be your insights, it could be best practices, it could be solutions to common problems, it could be anything. You can come to that. These are the major moves I'm saying. The next big step that smart CEOs do is collaborate. You collaborate with us like publishers, or you collaborate with your team, you collaborate with writers. So that's, and when you collaborate with publishers like us, we bring our writers and editors and their team, actually publishing team. So the third big needle mover for you would be to collaborate, because you can't do this entire process of writing and editing and publishing a book on your own. Not required, not advised, because there are experts at different things that you can access, that you can have access to by collaborations. And then once your manuscript is ready, the next big thing would be to edit it, proofread it, and publish it. Publishing means getting the book out, getting it listed by a publisher, and getting it distributed all over the world, getting it into the bookstores. So all these things form publishing. And then promotion, the next big step. Promotion means marketing. I mean, how will anyone know that your book has launched? So you, and along with your publisher, you both will promote the book, market it. You go to different stages, tell people that you have written a book, and then you land up speaking engagements. Maybe you will land up conferences, panel discussion. You go on LinkedIn, you create videos. There's so many things that you can do to promote your book. And here are some do's and don'ts if you want to use this as a strategy. Number one is to focus on your message to the world. That is the most important thing. Distill one message per book, one overarching. Maybe that message can be broken down into different steps or different chapters. That is fine. But your entire book should be about one message. For example, Rich Dad Poor Dad. This is a message about personal finance, educating someone with personal finance. That is the message of the book. So like that, you need to have the full focus on one message. And you also need to engage once the book is launched. Most first time authors hesitate to do that. I mean, I would encourage all first time authors, as soon as the book is released, don't worry about who is going to judge you with your book. People anyway are going to judge. So forget about people who troll you, judge you, and focus on the people who like you, trust you, want your insights, who seek your guidance. Post launch, you need to focus on engaging with your audience or readers, and also answering questions and engage with them. Don'ts. When it comes to don'ts, I would say self promotion, for example, sometimes is can come across as blowing your own horn. But with a book, it is more palatable. And when you're creating the book, I suggest don't fluff it. I mean, don't just bring in different stories, different ideas, different um, themes from other books just to make your book more voluminous. So even if it is less volume, more people would appreciate it if it is authentic, and if you are yourself, and if you are sharing your own insights and perspective. And one of the biggest don'ts is don't use ChatGPT or any AI to write your book, because the readers can, first of all, they can quickly figure out. Second thing is, it become a big publishing nightmare if you use ChatGPT, because you will have to declare, and published books will get flagged because it is ChatGPT generated content. And the biggest disadvantage is you can't copyright ChatGPT or any LLM generated content, because that's not yours. I mean, you don't have to do all these things, because you definitely have a lot of your own insights and perspectives that you can share in not just one book. I can guarantee that you can write at least 5 different books. You can do that. So avoid fluff, avoid GPT. And what is the next big thing? So after this video, the next big thing that you can do is, or the next first steps, I would say, would first of all write your core message. Like, what would be one core message you want to give in your book if you ever write one? And write down a little outline for this book. Book maybe five important points that you want to convey, you want to teach, you want to demonstrate, you want to convince the reader, maybe. And also brainstorm different ideas, like topics for your book if you can. That would be your next steps after watching this video. Hope this video helped you gain more insight and also inspired you to think about writing a book. And if you want more detailed and advanced strategies, go ahead and watch some of our videos at stardombooks.com. I also have a replay of my live training at stardombooks.com/live. Go there. It's an hour long live session that I did recently. Access the advanced strategies, and hopefully you will write a book one day. And email me when you do so, or maybe we both get to do a book together. Me as publisher, you as an author. All right. See you again in another video. Until then, keep smiling, believe in yourself, and get all the best things in life.